All right, good evening, ladies and germs. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Boldy and Chief David Rammer. It is about 9:19 on the 11th of June, 2023. We're going to do some severe weather coverage here. I know we've been relatively busy over the last hour. We've had nasty hail across portions of Flower Mound up to Highland Village, where we had baseball to softball sized hail. And yeah, nothing good came out of that, unfortunately. Welcome to thunderstorms in June. You get a lot of instability in combination with just a wee bit of wind shear aloft, and yeah, you can start getting some pretty big hail sizes pretty easily. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the thunderstorms ongoing across portions of the state. Then we're going to start looking at some individual thunderstorms here. And keep an eye on them. All right, first things first, storms in the northern Edwards Plateau all but dissipated at this point. We have a couple of showers approaching Interstate 10, well east of Fort Stockton, west of Ozana. Those are not severe. We've got a lone supercell currently in the southeastern portion of the Texas Panhandle. This thunderstorm moving southeast at about 25 to 35 miles an hour towards Silverton and Turkey. That could have golf ball size hail, winds of 70 miles an hour. Not really worried about a tornado threat with that. For what it's worth, we do have a couple of storms currently northwest of Clay, New Mexico into the Oklahoma Panhandle. It looks like those may stay in the Oklahoma Panhandle, but this storm north of Clay, we will have to watch just in case it makes it into the far northwestern Texas Panhandle. Our main issues this evening have been with plenty of thunderstorms that have fired up and dropped hail and strong winds across North Texas, including into the DFW Metroplex. Obviously, we dealt with quite a bit of significant hail in portions of southeastern Denton County over the last hour. In fact, just nothing good came out of that. I can actually show that, perhaps. Here we go. You can see the hail reports. And some of those hail reports ended up being 4 inches in diameter, which is the size of a grapefruit. 3 inches is apple size. So we're dealing with definitely some pretty rowdy thunderstorms. Currently, at this point, give me just a second. We'll go ahead and put the live radar on. And we have multiple supercellular thunderstorms underway currently. Looks like we've actually got a new storm that's tried to go up over northern Tarrant County, but at this point, that's not severe. What we are dealing with, we've got severe thunderstorms on Highway 380. First off, 75 between McKinney, Fairview, Allen, Lucas. That could have golf ball size hail moving east at about 30 miles an hour towards Princeton and Farmersville. A intense severe thunderstorm capable of producing golf ball to tennis ball size hail on Highway 380 east of Farmersville. That's going to be at this point near Merritt, moving towards Celeste, but mostly Greenville. That could have some very large hail. This is the storm that dropped softball size hail back in parts of Frisco a bit earlier. Another severe storm near Campbell on Interstate 30 up towards Highway 24 just south of Commerce. That could have golf ball size hail. All these storms moving east at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. The potential for golf ball to baseball size hail. Winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. We have a severe storm north of Clarksville on the Red River. This storm could have golf ball size hail. Winds of 60 miles an hour. It is moving southeast at about 30 miles an hour, staying north of 82 for now, but may approach Highway 82 near Anona, Avery, and DeKalb if it continues. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing quarter to ping pong ball size hail, winds of 70 miles an hour northeast now of Mineral Wells in northern Parker County, moving towards Springtown. Moving east-northeast at 35 miles an hour towards Springtown, Reno, Azle, Fairview, Newark, and Aurora over the next 45 to 60 minutes. A thunderstorm intensifying over northwestern Johnson County that's starting to show indications it might have nickel to perhaps quarter-size hail. Moving east-southeast at 20 miles an hour towards Joshua, Briar Oaks, Keene, and Alvarado. A severe thunderstorm over western Hill County near Covington, moving southeast towards the city of Hillsboro. That could have quarter to golf ball size hail as it slowly moves southeast towards Hillsboro, riding down 171, only moving at about 15 miles an hour. So again, Covington down to Hillsboro over the next 30 to 45 minutes, potential for quarter to golf ball size hail, maybe bigger than that. intense severe thunderstorm capable of producing golf ball sized hail and 80 to 90 mile an hour winds. Currently in southern southeastern Ellis County, now southeast of Bardwell, south of Alma, near M House, Barry, moving towards Corsicana. You can see this thunderstorm. Actually, you could almost consider it a hook echo. At this point, I would consider it just a very strong surge of destructive hurricane force winds. Looking at the which way the wind's blowing mode here on the weather radar, you can see we're seeing winds well over 70 to 80 miles an hour aloft. And again, given the environmental conditions, this thunderstorm is capable of producing winds 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. And this thunderstorm will be entering the city of Corsicana within the next 20 minutes, if not sooner. The Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning with a destructive tag on it for hurricane force winds over 80 miles an hour. And that has activated the wireless emergency alert system on your cell phones. That's why they made that obnoxious noise. And so those of you in M House, Blooming Grove, Corsicana, Oak Valley, probably Rice, probably had your cell phones go off and make some sort of scary noise of doom, and that's why. Hurricane force winds over 80 miles an hour possible with this thunderstorm as it moves to the southeast at 45 to 50 miles an hour. Big old surge of straight line winds that can cause a lot of damage, even tornado-like damage. So please take this storm seriously. You're going to want to get away from west and north-facing windows if you're in M House down to Corsicana. Be ready for wind-driven hail, the potential for quite a bit of wind damage, kind of wind damage that could emulate weak tornado damage, roof damage, knocking down trees and fences, causing power outages, knocking trees down on cars and vehicles. So again, that's what that storm's dealing with there. We've got a flash flood warning still across Dallas County because of, the earlier heavy rain and storms that caused quite a bit of an issue. So let's take a look. I'm going to press a couple buttons here. We're going to switch over to the high-res rapid refresh model and take a gander at what we are expecting for the remainder of tonight into tomorrow, because we're actually going to have a pretty busy day on Monday and Tuesday, it looks like. So let me load the HRRR. And what we're going to do is, before I show you what the model looks like tomorrow, I just want to see how it's doing right now. And honestly, it's not doing too bad. It doesn't have the storms in Collin and Hunt counties. So it's missing those, but it's doing pretty well with the activity south. You can see, generally speaking, we're going to be calming down by midnight. A storm should be pretty much gone by midnight to 1 a.m. As we head into early Monday morning, you can see storms perhaps continuing in the Oklahoma Panhandle, northeastern New Mexico. Can't rule out a few storms in the Texas Panhandle. And then we get to 6 a.m. Severe thunderstorms perhaps underway by 6 a.m. in the northern and eastern Texas Panhandle and to portions of western Oklahoma. These could have large hail. Continuing on, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., you could see scattered thunderstorms. Some of them could be severe with hail underway. The Texas Panhandle and especially across the southern half of Oklahoma, encroaching on the Red River here in Texoma. Here's 10 a.m. Storms across Oklahoma, encroaching on the Red River and portions of Texoma and northeast Texas. Some of those may have some hail, heavy rain, strong winds. Then let's get to 2 p.m. All right, storms still underway across Oklahoma. And what these will have done is shot an outflow boundary south into the state of Texas. In fact, if I switch over to a different product real quick, I put on the temperature map. You can kind of see that here on this temperature map. You can see a weak frontal boundary or an outflow boundary that this model is now showing. And this is your essentially rain-cooled air. And then south of it, it's 100 degrees. But looking at that, that's surface temperatures in the background. The reason I'm showing you that is that boundary is likely going to become a focal point for renewed intense thunderstorm development Monday afternoon into Monday evening. As we continue on, here's 4 o'clock tomorrow. You can see storms still across Oklahoma. Portions of the eastern panhandle may have showers. Still, honestly, we might have some storms along the Red River in Texoma. But guess what? Here's 6 o'clock. Starting to see a thunderstorm develop here southeast of Abilene on this model. I'm not saying this is exactly what's going to happen tomorrow, but how about this? 7 o'clock, you can see supercell right on that boundary between Abilene and Stephenville. And again, that would be, it's quite severe with large hail, damaging winds. maybe a low threat for tornadoes. How about this? Here is 9 o'clock. You can see we've got that boundary a little further south, but we also have supercellular thunderstorms underway in the southeastern Big Country into southern North Texas, generally moving east-southeast at about 20 to 30 miles an hour, maybe a few storms further north in the Metroplex. Here's 11 p.m. Nasty severe storms approaching Killeen, west of Temple and Belton. Here's 1 a.m. Those storms are gone, but we have new storms firing up further north. Texoma, North Texas, into early Tuesday morning. Here you go. Warm air advection, or the low-level jet, increasing a bit, helping to create just enough ascent to fire off some thunderstorms during the late night hours into Tuesday morning. Here's 5 a.m. Tuesday. Here you go. We've got storms in northeast Texas. Those could have some hail. And then across southeast Oklahoma. Now, this is just one weather model. And we're going to continue analyzing data overnight into early Monday morning, and that's when we'll bring you the usual morning Texas weather roundup with the latest severe weather outlooks. But this is the severe weather outlook we currently have for tomorrow from the Storm Prediction Center. It may be refined a bit based on what data shows tonight, but again, possibility of scattered severe storms Monday afternoon across portions of the Big Country, North Texas, perhaps into central Texas with very large hail. Damaging winds, the potential perhaps for a tornado or two. And then here is Tuesday, the potential for severe storms in portions of North Texas, Northeast Texas, and East Texas. So what we're dealing with right now, literally, we're going to be doing this again tomorrow and on Tuesday, not necessarily in the same locations, though. So again, let's go back. We'll take a look at what we have going on right now. Severe thunderstorm, northwestern Parker County. Let me turn on some different settings here, make sure we've got everything set. Severe thunderstorm in northwestern Parker County, west of the DFW Metroplex, moving northeast towards Springtown, Reno, Newark, Aurora, Hazlet in northwestern Tarrant County. Springtown about 9:50 to 9:55 p.m. Newark about 10:15. Reno about 10 to 10:05. Aurora about 10:15 to 10:20. Hazlet about 10:25 to 10:30. The storm currently capable of producing quarter to golf ball size hail. Winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. Let's go south. That severe storm I was talking about a few minutes ago here in northern Johnson County has officially gone severe. The potential for ping pong ball size hail. Localized winds 60 to 70 miles per hour. And again, these are making pretty efficient winds at this point. This storm looks like it's moving to the east at about 20 to 25 miles an hour. So if it continues, it may actually track more towards Joshua, Keene, Alvarado, and Briar Oaks. We're going to switch radars real quick because that's literally right next to the Fort Worth radar. Here's a better look at that thunderstorm a little higher aloft to show you the hail core. And again, this storm moving east-southeast toward Briar Oaks, Joshua, Keene, and Alvarado. It's moving slower, only about 15 miles an hour, so it'll be on Interstate 35W between 10:05 and 10:20 between Burleson, Briar Oaks, and Alvarado. Another thing to look at is we're taking a look at a different radar. Check out this little mark signature here. This could be pushing out some very strong winds in northern Parker County in addition to hail. And again, this is moving towards Springtown, Azle, Newark, Alvord. So enhanced damaging straight line wind with that thunderstorm as it moves northeast. All right, let's go back further east. Let's talk about the storms in eastern Collin and Hunt counties. Trio of severe storms capable of producing quarter to 2-inch diameter size hail. These storms are generally moving east at about 25 to 35 miles an hour. One storm over Campbell, one storm over Greenville, one storm between Lucas, Princeton, and Farmersville, and all these are generally moving east at about 30 miles an hour. Since these storms are kind of moving over the same areas, the potential is there that we could also see some flash flooding. A couple of storms now in northern portions of Red River County in northeast Texas. A new storm's fired up further southwest, northwest of Clarksville, and that storm may make it into the city of Clarksville with large hail over the next 30 to 45 minutes, while a second storm closer to the Red River moves towards Avery and DeKalb. And again, both those storms could have quarter to golf ball size hail, at least, the potential for 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gust. Further south, a very intense severe thunderstorm in northern Navarro County. The potential for winds of 70 to 80 miles an hour. moving into Blooming Grove, M House, Barry now. Oak Valley, Corsicana over the next few minutes, along with the potential for quarter-size hail. So again, this thunderstorm has the potential to produce quarter-size hail at least, the potential for 60 to 70 to 80 mile-an-hour wind gusts. This thunderstorm is moving southeast at 45 miles an hour. After Corsicana, this will continue moving into Navarro County, places like Richmond, Streetman, Eureka, probably staying a bit west of Kearns, Oak Valley. This has the potential to cause quite a bit of power outages, knock down a lot of trees across Navarro County, so don't be shocked. Storm in Hill County. I believe they just put a severe thunderstorm warning on this. Could have quarter-size hail, winds of 60 miles an hour, also moving to the southeast. And again, one core just near Lake Whitney, just northwest of Whitney, one core on 171 southeast of Covington, moving towards Hillsborough. And it's raining right now on 35E between Milford, Carl's Corner, and Hillsborough. And again, those storms generally moving to the southeast. In terms of storm timing, when are we going to be done? We could be dealing with these for another 2 to 3 hours. By between midnight and 1 a.m. or so, these are going to rapidly die off. At least that is the plan. All right, let's go back to West Texas. This storm northeast of Silverton near Caprock Canyon State Parks, dropping baseball-size hail. So this is going to be a severe thunderstorm. Excuse me, please load. Thank you. Northeast of Silverton near Caprock Canyon State Park, moving east-southeast at about 30 miles an hour. This thunderstorm has a history of producing baseball-size hail, winds of 60 miles an hour. Those of you in Turkey, Quitica, I'm sure I said that wrong, but you know what? For as many towns as I mispronounce, I am not upset about mispronouncing Quitica. But the storm should remain just northeast of Silverton, at least hopefully. Again, those of you in Caprock Canyon State Park, baseball-sized hail likely shortly. You need to be in shelter in one of those bathrooms, site-built structures. Do not be in an RV or a tent as that thing comes in, because that thing will have no issues punching holes in tents with baseball-sized hail. All right, let's go back in. We'll take a look. We do have a severe thunderstorm north of Clayton, New Mexico, well northwest of Texline. They're on Highway 87. This is probably going to be moving east towards Boise City, Oklahoma, but it may clip the far northern portions of the Texas Panhandle and far northern portions of Dallam County, but it's moving towards western Cimarron County and the Oklahoma Panhandle. And we also have a thunderstorm northwest of Texoma, southeast of Keys, well northwest of Goodwill. And that storm's, generally speaking, moving towards Goodwill. So that is what we have going on there. And again, if we had to pick a pretty dangerous storm right now, besides the one near Caprock Canyon State Park, it's going to be this one in Navarro County. The potential for widespread destructive winds over 80 miles an hour. Radar is now picking up 100-mile-an-hour winds a couple thousand feet above the surface. We're looking about 4,000 feet above the surface. By the time it makes it down to the surface, probably 80, maybe 90-mile-an-hour winds. So again, this is extremely dangerous thunderstorm in Navarro County, Blooming Grove to Oak Valley to Corsicana, Barry. The potential for widespread destructive winds of 80 to 90 miles an hour. Knock down a lot of trees. Roads are going to be blocked by downed trees. Power outages, probably half the county by the time this is done, at least. And it could cause some damage to structures, so I would definitely encourage you to take your tornado safety precautions. That would be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, do not be in mobile homes. Do not be in travel trailers. Do not be in vehicles. Do not be in something that could be damaged if a tree falls on it. Just why you want to be in an interior room, lowest floor of a sturdy site-built structure If you are in places like Corsicana to Blooming Grove to Oak Valley to Dawson to Richland here in Navarro County for hurricane-force straight-line winds that are going to be capable of producing tornado-like damage. Further west, a severe thunderstorm in Hill County, Itasca, Carl's Corner, Hillsborough, back west to Lake Whitney and Whitney. The potential for winds 50 to 60 miles an hour. The potential for quarter to ping pong ball size hail. As this thunderstorm moves east-southeast at about 20 miles an hour, while this dangerous storm in Navarro County moving southeast at 45 miles an hour with the potential for hurricane-force winds. Kitty K, thank you, Big Phil. I knew it was something like that. And Jenny Brown has told me many times before, and I knew it was something like that. But Kitty K is that town near Caprock Canyon State Park, back here northwest of Turkey to north of Kitty K, northeast of Silverton. Thank you. We also have a severe storm right on Greenville right now. The potential for quarter-size hail, very heavy rainfall, localized winds 60 miles an hour. Same thing for Cumbie. Storm in eastern Collin County, not as intense looking. I'd be okay with that. Let's take a look at this storm north of Clarksville. This storm north of Clarksville. We got two, really. One southeast of Albion, approaching Harris, Oklahoma, northeast of Clarksville, north of English, north of Anona. Specifically, this first storm near the Red River, about 13 miles northeast of Clarksville. A second severe thunderstorm near Bagwell, northwest of Clarksville, by about 5 miles. Northwest of Clarksville by about 5 miles, moving southeast towards Clarksville, could have large hail, damaging winds. So again, back to the radar. Again, one severe thunderstorm, northern Parker County, the potential for 60 to 70 mile an hour winds approaching Springtown, showing an increased hail core. We could have golf ball size hail with this. Springtown, you've got less than 15 minutes. Newark, about 10 to 10:15. Reno, 10 to 10:05. Justin, if this storm persists, this could be approaching Hazlet by 10:25 to 10:30. Justin in Denton County by 10:30 to 10:35. Roanoke by 10:35 to 10:40. And if this storm continues, it may impact areas directly hit by the baseball to softball size hail earlier. Flower Mound, Double Oak, Highland Village, up towards the west sides of Louisville Lake by 11 p.m. Okay, so that is the latest with the severe weather ongoing. We're going to be keeping an eye on things here at the Texas Storm Chasers. If you want to keep an eye on things, you can do the same with the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app and in the Texas Storm Chasers website, texasstormchasers.com/radar. But we really encourage y'all to check out the mobile app. It's got multiple radars down to your neighborhood forecasts, storm chasing videos, and of course, live severe weather coverage when we're live. But again, we'll be back if needed, but the severe weather threats will be continuing through the next 2 to 3 hours, most likely, before we start winding down. And hopefully we'll be done with most of this by 1 a.m. before we do it all over again on Monday and Tuesday. Remember, keep an eye on the sky with the free Texas Storm Chasers weather radar on our website, texasstormchasers.com/radar, and in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. We'll be here keeping an eye on things with y'all.